That down. Let's move on to this, shall we? You know, one of the things about the online movie world is that sometimes a rumor gets dropped and it almost seems like it doesn't matter where or who dropped it. And
I
some
love
of them,
rumors.
some of them will just start spreading like wildfire. I started getting a whole bunch of messages in my inbox from people saying, John, did you hear that Spider-Man 4 is going to be a team up with Spider-Man and Venom? I'm like, what? And I haven't heard that, and I looked around and like, where's this coming from? Anyway, I'm also always very hesitant because listen, scooping is a dangerous game. And I got a lot of respect for people who are scoopers and do them well. It's why I stay out of the scoop business. I've maybe dropped like 4 or 5 in 15 years. Because it's just too dangerous of a game. It's far too easy to be wrong and all that kind of stuff. So I have a lot of respect for people who do it, a lot of respect for people who do it well. But that's why I'm always hesitant to call out a rumor, because I don't want it to sound like I'm attacking or trying to be critical of the place that it came from. So I'm not going to name the place where this came from, just because out of caution, I don't want people to think I'm trying to attack them or bash on them at all. But the rumor that's going around right now, and Joe Blow is highlighting, it doesn't come from them, but they're just highlighting it, was that there's a rumor going around saying that Spider-Man 4 was originally going to be a Spider-Man and Daredevil team up, but now it's going to be a Spider-Man and Venom team up. And I don't believe either one of these by any stretch of the imagination. And unfortunately, the source that it's coming from, again, it's not Joe Blow. Again, I'm not saying they're not a very good outlet and a good entertaining website. I'm not saying anything like that at all. I'm just saying that it's coming from an outlet that says a lot of stuff that more times than not ends up not being true or not panning out. I'm not saying that they're lying. I'm just saying they've been wrong. Many, 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 many times. More times than not, they've been wrong. So, but that's not why I don't buy this. Now, you guys will remember that some time ago, there were, again, never confirmed by anybody official, but there were a lot of rumors going around that Sony and Marvel were having disagreements about what the nature of Spider-Man 4 should be. The rumors went on to say that Marvel wanted to make Spider-Man a very street level kind of movie, Spider-Man 4 that is, and that Sony wanted it to be a grander, more multiverse kind of adventure thing, again, because they had such big success with Spider-Man No Way Home. So piggybacking on that, this new rumor says that number one, Marvel wanted to do a Spider-Man and Daredevil crossover. I don't believe that at all. And I'll tell you why I don't believe that at all. Disney is making Daredevil a television character. That's not to say he can't appear in a movie here or there, but they're not going to take one of their television characters and try to make it a big prime main character in a feature film. They tried doing that with the Marvels, and they got spanked for it because a lot of people never saw Photon or never saw Ms. Marvel. I had no idea what they were talking about. And suddenly they put them up on the big screen and it just didn't work. If Disney wanted Daredevil to be a big screen character, guess what? They wouldn't be doing Daredevil Born Again. They just would have brought Charlie Cox over, Vincent D'Onofrio over, and put him in the movies. Instead, they've made them television characters. And I don't for a second believe that they would then try to take that and just make him a main character in one of the movies. It just goes against what the lessons they've learned. It goes against what their thing. Now you can say, but John, Sam from Falcon and Winter Soldier is getting his own Captain America movie. Yes, but Sam was first established as a movie character. They first established him on the big screen, and he's now Captain America. So there's that. So I don't believe that at all. Number two, I don't believe for a second that this Venom character, who I adore the Venom movies, particularly the first one. Second one was still good, not as good as the first, but whatever. But it's not nearly as beloved or as popular as Tom Holland's Spider-Man character is. And I don't believe for a second that Marvel or Sony, well, I can see why Sony would want it, but I don't believe for a second that anybody would seriously consider making Spider-Man 4 a crossover. Because when they do crossover, they cross him over with Iron Man. When they do cross Spider-Man over, they cross him over with Doctor Strange. They're not going to cross him over with Venom. Even though, John, don't you know that Venom is a Spider-Man? Yeah, I get that, but that doesn't apply here. And that it was going to be Tom Hardy's Venom. I don't buy it. Now listen, please take note of my language. I'm saying I don't buy it. I'm not saying it's factually impossible to happen. Because we live in a world where Jamie Foxx came back to play Electro again, which is nothing any sane person ever thought would happen. And it did happen. So we live in that world. So I just want to say, is it possible? Of course it's possible. I'm just saying, I don't buy it at all. And I think anybody who hears this rumor and I would say, put it out of your mind. If it is true, and I don't believe it is, but if it's true, guess what? At some point in the coming months, Variety will report it, Deadline will report it, The Wrap will report it, Variety, Hollywood Reporter, they'll report it if it's true, and then we can worry about it and talk about it. For now, I think this is just one of those noise rumors that maybe kind of lines up with a couple of other things we know, but I don't buy it for a second, even though I'm acknowledging right now, it ain't impossible. I just think highly unlikely. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, The Perfect Jean. Okay, so I've got to tell you about The Perfect Jean. These jeans are seriously a game changer. You know that feeling you get when you find a pair of jeans that fit so well that you almost forget that you're wearing them? That's what happened when I tried these. I'm not kidding. They're as comfortable as your favorite sweatpants, and they can slide on like them too, but they still look amazing. Look, as guys, we've all suffered through stiff, uncomfortable jeans, but The Perfect Jean is all about recusing well your gentlemanly area. These jeans are soft, stretchy, and they fit like they were custom made just for you. Because they've got an insane range of sizes, whether you're a skinny jeans kind of guy or rocking the bigger look. And they didn't just stop with jeans, they've got the perfect tee as well, with just the right amount of stretch to hide that beer belly, but still make you look great. It's finally time to stop crushing your balls in uncomfortable jeans by going to theperfectjean.nyc. Our listeners get 15% off your first order, plus free shipping, free returns, and free exchanges when you use the code Campea15 at checkout. That's 15% off for new customers at theperfectjean.nyc with the promo code Campea15. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show by telling them that we sent you. F your khakis and get The Perfect Jean. Chris, you hear about this. What do you think the chances are that this is real?
Okay. We're not going to take this with a grain of salt. This is like an Epsom soak in a tub. Okay. There are comic book reasons why this could be a thing, right? Because one, in the MCU, there is now the connection of the symbiote coming into our own universe, yada, yada, yada. We know that Null is involved in the Venom story. Null is also connected to the Beyonders and Secret Wars.
In the comic books.
In the comics.
Yes.
And I'm in the comics. Also, we've already had some connections theoretically in the MCU to Null with the Necrosword, which also connects to all of these things. So there's some reasons why we could have this happen. Do I think there's going to be a two-man Tom Holland, Tom Hardy team-up movie? More than likely, no. What I think more so could happen is that we see Tom come in for Secret Wars. Because I do believe that is the thing that's going to happen. So I understand fully having some reshoots that make more sense. But given where our Peter Parker is in the MCU right now, I feel like having symbiotes and gods and things like that, that's not the story that it seems like Marvel is going to tell with their next chapter regarding Peter Parker. It feels like it would be more of a Daredevil thing. I don't think that would happen either, but I do think it would be more boots on the ground, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, existing in a way where Peter feels useful and helpful and not overwhelmed since he's on his own doing these things, or at least not as overwhelmed as if he's dealing with, celestials and swords that were forged inside nowhere. You know what I mean? But I do think, much in the same way that Deadpool and Wolverine was this kind of swan song for so many X-Men Marvel characters, I think that that's what we're going to see with Secret Wars and Sony. I think we'll bring in Tom Hardy, we'll give him a nice farewell, and then we'll say bye to him. I don't think he's going to be leading a film with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Now, I want to go on record, too, and say this. I would be so down for a Tom Holland, Tom Hardy, Spider-Man Venom film.
It'd be super
Yeah,
fun.
don't misinterpret my
Yeah.
doubt that this is real as lack of enthusiasm because I'm somebody who really likes Tom Hardy's
Yeah.
Venom. I would love to see this movie. I'd be totally down for it. I just don't believe for a second that would actually be real.
If we were going to believe, let's say we believe both theories, both things were true in some
At
phase,
some point.
then to me that sounds like, and I don't believe both, but to me that sounds like there is a tug of war going between Marvel and Sony of where Spider-Man's going to ultimately
Yeah.
land. For one thing, in the article they say, oh well, at the end of No Way Home, we had that symbiote was left behind at the bar.
Yes.
Yeah, but we see in the trailer for Venom 3, they've retconned that. And this is in Venom's world. And that apparently phased back into his world with him because they capture it on the bar. And that's not 616.
Yeah.
So that's out the door. My only argument for Daredevil is that we do see him in No Way Home because he's his lawyer. And he catches that brick in the
Right, but as a
apartment.
cameo, right?
he no
Not as
longer
a
knows who Peter
lead.
is.
Okay.
Yeah, not
but you
as a
could bring a
lead
cameo
co-lead.
into a lead.
Oh,
I mean,
for sure.
I think the character is popular enough that people are like, yeah, I know about Daredevil, even if it's like whatever. You didn't watch the shows or something, but I don't think he'd be a co-lead.
No.
And but he'd be more than he'd be like almost like a new kind of mentor that pops up in a couple scenes.
Mm-hmm.
But haven't they
not
done
co-lead.
that with Spider-Man already?
Yeah, but he's still just a boy.
He needs
he's a
someone.
Spider Boy, not yet a
He's been
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man for 8 years now.
know, he's a
I
baby.
understand, but he's still just a baby. I fully believe
Spiders
these are,
age differently than humans,
Yeah.
so
I fully believe these are all conversations that have happened at the studio. I don't believe these are things that are coming to fruition. I think these were when everything was blue skies and up for
blue
discussion.
skies.
Guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? There are two separate questions here. One, do you believe in the validity of this? I absolutely do not. I think this is something you can just throw out of your head and not even think about it again. The second question is, would I be down for something like this? Hell yes, I'd be down for. I think this would be really fun. I would love to see it. But whatever you guys think about this, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.